So we're so excited to have on the show for the first time iLe. Thank you so much for being here with us. She's here to talk about her work and her new song, No Es Importante. So welcome, iLe.
Thank you. Thank you.
How are you doing today?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm at the studio working on new songs. But good. It's very hot outside here in Puerto Rico.
Oh,
So
you're in Puerto Rico.
yeah.
Well, we're in California. It's a little
Yeah,
warm here too, but we're enjoying the
it's
heat.
more dry out here.
So yeah, we're super excited to have you on today, and we're excited to kind of chat with you and talk about your work. So I guess to start us off, we were just curious to know, like, where do you get the inspiration for the music you make?
I think from many places. I don't know. Sometimes to listening to different songs, but also sometimes watching a movie, or sometimes just on the road. I think I have learned that you can feel inspired by anything. Like sometimes the smallest thing, or maybe like your daily routine, can inspire you. You never know. Like that. That's what I have learned so far, that inspiration can come unexpectedly.
Absolutely, and actually, that's kind of leading into my next question. Because so I wanted to tell you actually, for my undergraduate thesis when I was in college, I wrote a paper about immigrant anthems from the 2006 marches, and so I wrote about Arjona Intocables Mojado, about B-side players Nuestras Demandas, and about Calle 13's Pal Norte,
Mhm.
to kind of contextualize them within that moment of like all the immigrant rights movement that was happening at that time. And so it's kind of interesting. I mean, I love it's like full circle moment because I think a lot of the music you've made, like for instance, the Afilando los Cuchillos with Residente and with Bad Bunny, and then last year's Donde Nadie Más Respira, they all have this kind of like anthem quality to it that are speaking to such a to whatever the political moment is. So it's so raw, and I think like the messages are so raw in music. Do you feel it's a responsibility in your work to write these kinds of songs and speak truth to power?
Oh, well, not necessarily a responsibility. Maybe more like my duty, or something that I just need to do, or express somehow. And that's why I feel so grateful that I have music like as a tool, and always by my side. Like helping me express um, what goes through my mind. And obviously socially and politically, everything affects me. And being from Puerto Rico, that we have a colonial crisis, going on. Everything is very weird, like sometimes I realize, like throughout the years, that coming from an island itself, it's something that it's is strange. It's very small, and you might feel sometimes trapped, and it's weird. And I realize it when I travel and I see everything so big, and everything is so it's so different. It's a very the proportions are totally different for me. and and
Yeah.
I'm sure that for many Puerto Ricans as well, because everything here is so familiar and so small. And everything that goes on, it might seem small for someone else, but for us is horrible, because we're like a big family, and everything is weird, to manage. But that's why everything that I write comes from that. Not only what goes on here in Puerto Rico, but also like now that we have social media and we can learn about what goes on in other countries, you feel a little less alone. But at the same
Right.
time,
Mhm.
you see, oh, okay, the whole system is messed up, and we need to do
Mhm.
something together. This is not something that is going on in my country only. It's something that goes on worldwide, and we need to fix this.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that's also just about having like an honesty, right? Because it's like reflecting what's happening in the world or in Puerto Rico. And something that maybe a lot of other artists might shy away from speaking so politically, right? How have you managed or negotiated that?
Well, I try to understand it, because I feel grateful that I come from a family that have always been outspoken with that. Like my parents always talk to me about what was going on in the country, and they gave myself that space, I don't know, but like to give myself that opportunity to think things through, like on my own. They didn't push me to think like they did, and I remember having that internal moment, that if I really thought the same way that my parents did about what goes on in Puerto Rico, and I think I learned it also at school, that there was some information that was lacking, some things that I was learning somewhere else, that they were not giving me the whole information at school, and I didn't know why. And little by little, speaking with my friends, this idea that some friends had about some political figures in Puerto Rico, and it was all so confusing and so messed up, that I didn't know why we weren't learning enough. So I think that's what moves me more, instead of criticizing maybe people that or artists, or that don't talk, you know um, uh, more openly about what goes on. Maybe a lot of people are afraid or confused. It's politics can be frightening, and confusing. So I try to understand it from that. So I I don't want to obligate anyone to do it, but I
Right.
feel that there are so many ways of doing it. Like, if you see an artist doing it one way, it doesn't mean that you have to do it the same way. You can be
Right.
political in so many ways, that's why it's very important to just find a way to be present in other ways, rather than the image, or more than the image.
Yeah, no, I think that's so real, and I'm sure that like that's a struggle for for being in this industry, right? Of like how to balance that and stay true to your work. And
I think we've learned so much too from these anthems, right? And the rawness is really a service to folks who consume this music, right? Because they're learning something, and like you said, everyone can do it in their own way, but this way it feels very real and very raw. So thank you.
yeah, and
Thank you.
you've done with this and others, like the music has always been so politically
Intentional.
charged. Yeah, and I think that was for we're big fans, but I think that was kind of what drew us in, because it was music that it was like feel good, but also had a really important message. I think that you could dance to a really political message.
You could shake your ass and still be like, okay, but we're doing this for, for a purpose. So we've seen the video for No Es Importante, and we absolutely loved it. I know it's not out yet, correct?
No,
Folks will be able to see
I think
it.
when this comes out, it will be.
Okay, awesome. But we loved it. And I was curious of like the location and what the restaurant, it was a restaurant, yes? Like what it symbolized for you, and why you chose to have it there.
Well, the idea of the video came from my brother Gabriel, and we worked it out as a team with the director, that is Cesar Berrios. And we all imagined this place in Santurce, in La Calle Loíza, that is called Casa Laurel. And we love that place because we went one time, and it's this place that at daytime they serve lunch, and at nighttime, I mean, you can always have a drink, but at nighttime is like they have food, but the Fridays they do karaoke. And that's very like what I enjoy about it is that it's a very community space, that it's not this bar that everyone goes to. It's like a homey place. And I like the idea of working the video there, because it's like you see a lot of those places here in Puerto Rico, and they feel like very familiar, and it's like you start to know each other, and if you go like you become like a usual, and then people get to know you, and it's like you have a new family, and I like that, that I enjoy that about being from here and living here, is nice. So we try to find a way of making it, a little more surreal, but at the same time something that happens to most people, that you just try to find ways to express yourself. And this character that it might be a part of me, but at the same time is not completely. But I like that she just uses that karaoke to just let herself out and find a way to just express however she wants without worrying about any judgment, what she feels, you know, and what she's going through. And it's like that karaoke represents like a therapy for her. So it doesn't matter who is watching, how many people are there. You know, it's just as if she's at her house, you know, singing her heart out.
Yeah, that's beautiful. And you see the care too that comes off of the folks that are in the space. It doesn't feel like they're like, what's happening? Like they almost embrace her and care with her while she's going through that. And they'll, you know, hand you the drink and you're just like, yes, you know, like they got you.
Yeah, that's cool. And you feel that like in real life, you feel that in some places here in Puerto Rico. So we wanted to show that in a way in this video.
So if you can tell us about the new song, so tell us about No Es Importante and the inspiration behind the song itself.
Well, I mean, it's a song that started a while ago. I was in a plane when I started writing, and it started as if it was like a note or something. But I feel I don't know. Sometimes I get to know my songs better in the course, you know, like from when they get farther away. But I think it's like when you feel that there's someone or something, I don't know, maybe it's a someone on your mind that is like having like a room or something in your head, and they already accommodated, they have like a bed and the wind. Suddenly you realize like, what are you doing, like and you remind yourself like, I don't need you anymore, like you're occupying like a space in my mind that I need for something more important. So that's why I wrote this song. Like it's also a way of maybe it has like a contradiction that I like at the same time, because it's a saying that it's not important what I am thinking, like my thought about that person, but at the same time it's like a cry for, yes, I need, like, it's like, I don't know, it's maybe I was hormonal at the time that I was writing. But maybe it's just that expression of my hormones and the way and what goes through your mind when you're confused about something or someone.
Yeah, and that's heartbreak, right? It's not like a linear recovery. It's like there's up and down and confusing feelings.
We were talking about this prepping. I'm like, I'm currently fresh out of a breakup. So I was like, this song feels so needed right now. Like it's speaking to a lot of feelings currently. So I guess, is this part of your process? Like, if you experience similar feelings, like, is it let's put this in the work, in the music? Or
I don't know. I mean, obviously with this going on, the pandemic and everything has been so weird. And I mean, even though this started a little, I think it was a little before the pandemic. But I don't know. Sometimes being in a plane, it's weird as well. You know, you don't know what's gonna happen in that.
Right.
I always like see the skies and the clouds and everything, and it's so calming. But at the same time, I don't know what type of calm I'm feeling. Like, is it really calm or what is it? So I don't know. I'm, like I said, like I understand everything more clearer when it gets to another dimension, like, but right now it's just happening, the songs are happening, and this song came from that, it happened, and I liked it, and I like there's something like humoristic to it as well, like making fun of that a little, and the exaggeration and that we make in our heads when situations like that.
Right.
But the important thing for me is just like enjoy that process in a good way, let it all out, but keep going. I don't know. It's like, I mean, you have to keep going.
Well, that's kind of the like what we got too. Like it's a there might be about a relationship ending, but there's hope to it, right? Like there's like, okay, I gotta, yeah, ya basta. Like that's enough. So we were curious, like what advice or consejos would you give to someone who might be going through through heartache, the inevitable heartache?
I mean, I'm not sure if I'm for that, but because I don't know, I can sometimes be harsh, but I try not to. I try to be comprehensive as well, and I think each of us have a different process, and that's okay. I think if we don't get consumed as much with how society tends to work, and that a lot of people give you different opinions and you don't know which one to choose, like you don't have to choose any opinion, like you just have to go with yourself and with what you are feeling and with your own instinct. And I think sometimes we diminish that instinct because we think we're wrong. And I think that it shouldn't be that way, that there's something that it is a calling, that is letting you know, like I need to pay myself more attention, and I need to take care of myself, and that's good. And you can do that crying, you can do that screaming in your pillow, you can do that writing, singing, dancing. There's so many ways to escape a little, or let it all out differently, to make you feel better. Also talking, talking is great, but without any judgment of yourself, or if you're going to share something private, make sure that you're sharing it with the right people. So yeah, I don't know if that's good, but that's what I have to say.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, I think so often we forget to follow that intuition, right? Like that I mean, you may not have the words for it sometimes, but you feel it like in your heart or in your body, like this is not right, or this is right, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, we're actually talking about, we've curated a playlist that we'll release when the single comes out, but we put your song on the top of that playlist for folks who are out there listening who might need, the comfort of some music to kind of get through those hard times. So yeah, we'll post about that soon. Yeah, we also wanted to say, we also appreciate, like, we're brother and sister, like that you also, are engaged in a brother sister hour with your brothers, and like we love the family act, so we love that.
Yeah, I love it too, and I feel so grateful. Like my family is also part of my team, and I love it. I love that.
Well, I think that takes us to the end. I don't know if there was anything else you wanted to add, or any message you had to listeners before we say goodbye today.
Yeah, I hope you enjoyed the song. No es importante. It's very. It might be very personal. I don't know yet, but I hope you enjoy it, and you can feel connected to it. So.
Awesome. Well, iLe, thank you so much. Thank you for taking time to come chat with us, and we can't wait to see what else you come out with.
Thank you so much. Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. Take care.